Low testosterone men love having fun. Low testosterone men watch sports. Warm water is for low testosterone men. Boredom is a sign of low testosterone. Low testosterone men have loads of friends.
Okay, what does that even mean? So if you're somehow unfamiliar with this generational guru full of wisdom and knowledge, this is Jake Ricks. Jake Ricks is someone I made a video about over a year ago, and he was quite a character and had some opinions, to say the least.
What the fuck are you doing? What kind of man walks around with a smile on his face 24/7? You really think the men from World War II would have went to war if they knew this is who you would become?
But he's still going to this day, and honestly, back then I thought it could have been a bit like he's playing a character of an over-the-top Andrew Tate fan, and his end goal is to trick a bunch of gullible people into buying a course on how he became so alpha or something, and then he'd dip. A respectable path. But this has been going on for too long now for it to be a joke. Like, he hasn't dropped character once. I'm pretty certain this is genuine, and none of what he says seems to make any sense whatsoever. I think it makes even less sense than it did a year ago. Like, now he just goes on about testosterone a lot. That's all he fucking talks about. You can probably tell from the intro, but now he just seems to pick a thing that creates any level of happiness or comfort in life, like hot showers and having friends, and says if you have or enjoy those things, you're a low testosterone pussy cuck. But he doesn't just post videos hating on the joyous and whimsical things in life. He also posts these weird, I'm guessing they're supposed to be inspirational videos with horrible, menacing music in the background. I mean, Jake, the last thing I needed to know about you was about your semen. I don't need to know about your semen retention, mate. None of us do. Please keep that to yourself. But what is this even supposed to be driving us towards? Having a very veiny and tense arm? Yeah, guys, if you stop eating like a low testosterone pussy or whatever that entails, you too can walk around the house with a half-eaten leg of some unidentifiable beast. And then we have this clip, high testosterone men trained to kill, not pose in bikinis. I'm not even sure what that's supposed to mean. But anyway, let's get on to listening to some of this guy's rationale for his interesting statements.
If any of your friends have low testosterone, you should unfriend them right now. Studies have shown that the testosterone levels of the men that you hang around with, so your friends, can have a significant impact on your testosterone levels.
Gotta hand it to him. Jake Ricks is building the ultimate blueprint for misery. What does that even mean? It doesn't mean anything. How are you even meant to test your friends for testosterone? It's done through like blood test, isn't it? What? You're supposed to go around your friend's house with a pin and go, yeah, can I just stick this in your finger and get a blood sample from you, mate? I just need to check that you're not low testosterone. If you're low testosterone, I don't want you passing it on to me. But also, what he just said, it's complete bollocks. I'm having to do a lot of very embarrassing Google searches for this video. So I searched, does hanging around with low testosterone men make you have less testosterone? And surprisingly, no, it doesn't. But interestingly, if you look further down in the search I made, there's an article that says that men in committed romantic relationships had 21% lower testosterone levels than men not involved in such relationships. And now all these people like this are very focused on the idea of a family unit. He gets onto it in a bit about how he's like training to kill to protect his family and all that. But they're very focused on this idea of the family unit. So I have to ask the question, will he make that sacrifice? Will he make that 21% cut to his testosterone in order to have a loving family? Only time will tell.
Any form of training or dieting for aesthetic reasons is feminine as fuck.
Yeah, fair enough. Honestly, if you want to get into shape to boost your self-confidence or impress the ladies, you're so gay.
High testosterone men train to kill because their brain has been wired for protection.
Mate, where do you think you are? What time period do you think you're in? This guy probably lives in like Surrey. What are you doing kicking about with the thought in your mind of, oh, I might need to fucking kill someone to protect myself, as you're walking down the streets of like Guildford? Nobody wants to kill you, boss. You can relax. You can relax on that front.
So they are training to kill so they can be as capable as possible at protecting. This is why high testosterone men are so for the idea of women not going to the club on their own.
Nah, man, nah. You don't want your missus going to the club so she doesn't end up getting pinched by some guy that doesn't spend all day making TikToks TikToks about his semen retention and being high testosterone.
The reason a muscular physique is attractive to a woman isn't because it looks pretty, it is because of the traits that it signals. For example, a muscular physique signals to the woman that he's strong and capable of protecting her.
Sorry, mate, can you turn up the music? I can't really hear it. But yeah, he's absolutely right about that. But remember, guys, from the previous lesson we were taught by Jake Ricks, you can't go to the gym for aesthetic purposes, so just be careful you don't end up getting too lame.
High testosterone men fucking hate shopping. They hate it.
Yeah, man, I keep telling my mum this when she insists I go to Asda with her because she doesn't want to leave me in the house on my own. I say, Mummy, I don't want to. I've got high testosterone, and as a high testosterone man, I don't like going shopping. But she doesn't listen to me, and she threatens to take away my Xbox, so I always just end up going.
For example, you look at someone like David Goggins, one of the most masculine influencers on the internet.
Well, does his mummy try and make him go to Asda with her too? I love how much people like this obsess over David Goggins. Have you ever listened to that guy on a podcast? His lifestyle doesn't sound fun at all. I, for one, can say I would not like to be in David Goggins' shoes. Every single story he tells is like, oh yeah, I ran 100 miles and then shat myself and pissed blood. Why would I want to do that?
If you're depressed, just take steroids.
No. Don't do that. I don't think I need to tell you why you shouldn't do that. Don't do that. What the fuck is he going to follow this up with?
So I guarantee you, if a depressed person stuck some tren or testosterone, whatever, MK677 into him, his depression would go.
No, it absolutely would. What the fuck are you talking about? That is not how it works. Jake Ricks is at a point now where he's just making up medical lies. What an insane statement to put out into the world. Oh, if you're depressed, just take steroids. Don't do that. That's not how it works.
In other words, men's mental health only exists because of low testosterone.
No, it doesn't. It's almost admirable how much complete bullshit this guy pulls out of his ass. Having friends lowers your testosterone. Steroids can cure depression. Listening to music is feminine.
Listening to music is feminine as fuck, because estrogen is responsible for causing a lack of emotional control, as it expresses its effects in the area of the brain that is responsible for emotional regulation.
So, to summarize what he just said, as a man, you shouldn't listen to music because it will make you feel emotions. And as a man, you should aim to have no emotions. You should just aim to have high testosterone. That's the only thing you should aspire to have, high testosterone. Ignore everything else. Ignore friends, family, everything, music. Just focus on getting your testosterone as high as you can. That's when you'll feel happy.
So I was driving my car down a dual carriageway, and there was a van in front of me, and there was some kind of SUV on the left of me. And so I'm coming up to the van, and the SUV is right here. So there's like a tiny gap between the van and the SUV, but the van's on the right-hand lane and the SUV is on the left-hand lane. And so there's like this tiny gap, but I'm going really fast. So I'm gaining towards the van really fast. Literally the second I overtake the SUV, I have to switch into the left lane in front of the SUV. Like literally the second after I passed it, switch into the left lane, continue going fast, and I had to go into the left lane to avoid the van in front of me. And it felt fucking amazing when I did it. The best feeling of dopamine I have ever felt. And this is because testosterone, high testosterone especially, will reward you for taking big risks.
Jake, what I think you described there is an adrenaline rush because you narrowly avoided a car crash by driving like a wanker. I don't care how high your fucking testosterone is. Don't drive like a tit. Don't do this. What the fuck? Why is this supposed to be like an inspirational thing? Like, oh my god, I'm so high testosterone, I just can't help but drive like a dick. Don't fucking drive like Jake Ricks. I guess by his logic, the police have low testosterone because they try and stop people driving like him.
Low testosterone men love having fun. This is because they are more emotional due to their lack of testosterone, and therefore the masculinization of the brain areas within their brain that are responsible for emotional regulation. The lack of testosterone action within this area causes them to be much more emotional and attracted to things that make them feel a certain way.
Again, complete bollocks, but even if that was the case, your two choices here are have fun, and live a fulfilling life filled with happy memories with the crutch of having slightly lower testosterone levels. Except you wouldn't, because it's not true, but anyway, we're doing a hypothetical here. Your other choice is living like a caveman, eating your leg of beast, never having any fun except for when you get on the roads and almost crash into a family of 4. The choice is yours.
Lions have 1,000 nanograms per deciliter of testosterone. So if we were to imitate their lifestyle, we can take a wise assumption that that would probably be very good for our testosterone levels as well, potentially even achieving similar testosterone levels in ourselves.
Yeah, okay, he's totally lost it. He's trying to replicate the hormonal balance of a large feline in himself. I'm sorry, this is so ridiculous. I've never heard anything like it. It's a totally different species. How are you aiming to have the same hormonal balance as a fucking lion? When I was a kid, I looked at Machoke, the Pokemon. If you don't know who Machoke is, I'll throw a picture up on screen. But look at his biceps, right? He's so muscular that his muscles are ripping through his skin. That was my body goals as a child. Obviously, it's completely ridiculous, but it's not different to what Jake is on about here. If anything, his is even more ridiculous.
They hunt, fight, eat, sleep, repeat. They will also have competition for females.
So what you're saying is you want to live as a lion. You want to replicate a lion's life. This is the craziest furry coming out video I've ever seen.
So to replicate the hunting, we can train in the gym. To replicate the diet, we can eat a carnivore diet. Then martial arts to replicate the fighting. And then, of course, sleeping for at least 8 hours, because lions sleep for fucking ages.
Yeah, man, you're spot on. They do. Yeah, lions, they do sleep for a long time. This guy, he doesn't watch any millionaire morning routine videos. Ashton Hall, get the fuck out of here. Stick on an Attenborough documentary. That's what our Jake is basing his mornings off.
And for the competition for females, you just want to ensure that you're putting yourself in environments regularly where there's attractive women. For example, when you go to the gym.
Yeah, man, maybe you should go up to women in the gym and explain how you're trying to live as a lion, and that's why you're approaching them in the gym. They'll love that. Women love that men that are trying to be big cats. That's well known. Mike Myers, the cat in the hat, women would drop to their knees for him.
Low testosterone men have loads of friends, and this is because a low testosterone man's brain is way more feminized, making him much more emotional, which is the main trait that makes you much more likely to be nice to people, even if you do not like them.
What the fuck is he even talking about? He's just using random alpha male buzzwords at this point. Now, I just want to clarify, I don't dislike Jake. I think he's a funny character who spouts controversial takes to get attention online. Like, this video is not me hating on him. I just find the way he thinks incredibly funny. So on that high note of him basically saying having friends is a low testosterone move, I want to end this video here. Like and subscribe if you have high testosterone. That's a real high testosterone move if you like and subscribe.